guys, I'm Zoe and you're watching Zoe's World, and today I'm going to be talking about my Ocs lore. Oh, before I get started, I do want to give a disclaimer and a trigger warning because my Ocs lore, like most OC lores, it gets a little dark and it may trigger some people that have struggled with a lot of like abuse or being feeling like they're alone or abandonment issues. So if you are triggered by a lot of that dark energies or dark stuff, maybe this video is not for you. I have plenty of videos on my channel that aren't dark like this, but so you can go check out those. I totally recommend it, especially my Facing Fear series. If you want to watch that, I totally recommend it. But let's get on with this video. Let's get started. The story mainly focuses on one young girl named Monia. She was born on Earth to two parents. Her dad, a man named Mark that is half human, half monkey. Her mom is named Elizabeth Willowsmith. She is the thin fairy princess of a magical world called Lathina. When Monia was just 1 year old, her mom got a vision that Hazel, her older sister, was harming her people, and so she decided to leave and go back to Lathina to help. Elizabeth didn't want her baby and her husband to get hurt, so she told them to stay on Earth. Mark was sad, but he understood. He knew that one day she would return, but he would never get to see that day because when Monia was 4 years old, he was taken by zookeepers. He hid Monia in her toy chest and told her to stay quiet. The zookeepers never found her and took Mark to the state capital zoo, miles away from Monia, and there was nothing Mark could do to protect his baby from the world. Monia struggled on her own as a 4-year-old, but she slowly got the hang of it. She was basically alone until she was 9 years old. That is when she met her best friend, Max. They lived and grew together in the forest she has lived in her whole life so far. Max is like Monia in the same sense that they were both half monkey. Max was abandoned at birth because of this. Max was taken to an orphanage where he was physically, emotionally, mentally, and abused by other kids and staff. Monia was the first person he felt safe around. Max is also autistic, so all of what he went through was very much a lot for him to handle, but he, one day at the age of 9, decided to run away. That is how he and Monia met. It was just the two of them until they both were 12 years old. Monia's mom, Elizabeth, came back to rescue them after she got a vision of her daughter getting kidnapped by the same people that took Mark. Monia and Max leave with Elizabeth to go to Lathina. Monia was so happy to finally see her mom again. After adjusting to their new home, Max gets extremely homesick. They both used to live in a treehouse, and now they are living in a castle. Monia tries to make him feel better by comforting him and asking him about rocks, but none of that helps him. So she asks what he misses the most, and he says he misses the treehouse and the forest, and that gave Monia an idea. So she goes to her mother about building a treehouse for Max, and Elizabeth thought that was a great idea. So she rallied up all the best builders, and she had them build Max the treehouse that he can live in. Max was so happy when he saw the finished treehouse. Monia was happy that Max was now happy in their new home. One day, Monia and Max bumped into a girl with dark blue pigtails and purple eyes named Bella. They instantly became friends. Bella is an 11-year-old girl that is a butterfly fairy. She is also the Duchess of the Butterfly Empire. Her mother is a strict perfectionist. Bella has to be perfect around her mother. If she doesn't, she gets scolded. Bella's father died in battle for Lathina as an ally to defeat Hazel. Bella's mother blames the now Queen Elizabeth for the death of her husband, and now Lathina and the Butterfly Empire are not allies anymore. Bella is forbidden by her mother to step foot in Lathina, but Bella sneaks out to go anyway. Bella is glad that she did, because if she never did, she would have never met her new best friends, Monia and Max. At some point, they meet a boy named Will, and he's 13 years old and half wolf, and a fairy, which is really bad in the wolf pack. The wolf pack forbid partnership with fairies, and Will's birth mother broke that rule when she met her wife, aka Will's other mother. Will's father isn't to be named, but he is a bad man that is a part of the wolf pack. The leader did exile him for what he did, but he hurt Will's birth mother. He is a part of a prophecy the wolf pack has they try to keep from happening, and that is why he is also a fairy. He has a powerful bark that scares the pack. Will's bark can be lethal, but most of the time it makes your ears ring. He can only do it in his wolf form. Will runs into the trio one day and they all become good friends. Monia, Max, and Bella love his sense of humor a lot. One day Will meets a beautiful girl named Kit. Kit is an orphan like Max, and similar to Max, she was also abandoned. Kit was born half cat to a family of evil witches and warlocks. Cats are seen as bad to them and a curse. The willow tree goddess protected her until someone found her and took her somewhere safe. Kit was nervous meeting Will for the first time because she recently, at that time, broke up with her toxic, controlling ex-girlfriend, Rain. Kit and Rain grew up together in the foster home. They started out as best friends and then girlfriends. Becoming girlfriends ruined the relationship they made in the beginning. Rain became really controlling out of fear of losing Kit, like she lost their parents. Rain's parents died in a fire accident. Rain feels like it's all their fault because they were playing with fire magic and it got out of control. Rain was 7 and she didn't have control yet. At 14, she still feels guilty, and because of that, they are controlling and they limit magic use. Kit couldn't take the controlling anymore, so at 14, she broke up with Rain, and Rain was so upset, and for a long time, they stayed upset to the point of obsessing over getting back together. That will never happen because Will is Kit's love of her life. Will and Kit match each other. They are good for each other and they are very cutesy. My OCs become besties and their group is like one big happy family. They will do anything to protect each other, and Monia is the one that is always on edge because she doesn't want to lose any of her friends. She will do anything to protect them, even if it means not being with them anymore. All that matters to her is their safety. Monia goes against so many people, such as Hazel, her aunt, around the early days of her and Max being in Lathina. Seth, Laylee, she wanted to help Bella, but Bella took care of Laylee by herself. Rain, but again, Monia was more of a backup for Kit. Kit needed to finally get to Rain that they weren't meant to be, and Steven. Monia does have a crush on him. What all these villains have in common is that they were all being puppeted by the puppeteer demon trying to stop Monia from becoming who she was destined to be. But instead of stopping Monia, the puppeteer unintentionally helped her instead. Monia is destined to be a fairy goddess. Once she finally embraces her true self without fear, she will become her destiny. Monia will sacrifice a lot, but the sacrifices aren't made for no reason. Everything she does has a hidden purpose. Each character goes through the story learning something about changing because the changes will help them for the rest of their lives. Monia, she has to learn to let go and slow down. Max has to learn to not let fear control them. Bella has to overcome her mother's control. Will has to change the wolf pack for good. Kit has to become the light that she needs to look to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I know there's gonna be a lot of edits to be made because I am not the best reader. Reading out loud for me is a struggle, so if you are annoyed by all the edits, I apologize. And yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me about your original characters down below if you want to. I would love to read every single one of them because I love people's OCs. I think they're all cool and amazing, and I hope you all will have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!